Welcome to our introduction to Apply Payables for Microsoft Dynamics GP. And if you've ever struggled with applying a manual payment to a large number of invoices and having to search through the apply window as you're doing that, scrolling down and clicking on it and waiting for the couple of seconds delay that each click on each invoice takes, you're going to be really happy to see how Apply Payables can automate. For all of your vendors and all of your open payables, we can apply faster than the speed of light with our product Apply Payables. So we've set up some invoices in for vendor test 7, and we've entered a manual payment for that particular vendor. So what we're going to first do is just go and look at the transactions. You can see here's a manual payment that needs to be applied. In reality, you probably have a lot more invoices if you're looking at our product, and you don't want to have to search through a lot of invoices to find the invoices that need to be applied. You might get a remittance file from your vendor, or you might just create it from SmartList. Either way, you can see that we have a manual payment here for $20,000, and rather than having to go through the apply process, you just post that unapplied and then use our product to tell it which invoices to apply against. So one of the ways you can tell us how to do it is to tell us very specifically, I want this document or voucher applied to this document and this amount. So we can do this either by doc number or by voucher. Voucher is easier because for uniqueness, we really just need the doc type and the voucher. If you look at our import file spec, you can see the apply from voucher number, the apply from doc type, which is a manual payment, the apply to document voucher, and the doc type for that invoice is a 1. We do have a sequence column, so that would need to, if you're doing it in Excel, it'd be 1, 2, 3, and then all the way down. And then the apply amounts for those particular invoices are specified in the last column. So we're just going to go ahead and import that. We're going to replace any records that might be there from a prior import. One thing to note, because you can choose to leave that unchecked, you can append multiple files together to all be previewed and processed with one click. So we're going to go ahead and import this file. We also support, if you use National Accounts for Payables, which is a third-party product available from one of the other GP ISVs, we actually can do the applies per those parent and child customer national accounts in that third-party product as well. I'm going to go ahead and click import here, and we'll get a list of the records that imported, as well as if there were any exceptions, like one of the documents didn't exist or something of that nature. So you can see in here that we validated that those documents do exist, both the apply from and the apply to documents. This could be for more than one vendor and more than one set of documents. So it can be a rather large file if you have a huge number of applies that need to be processed. Now, I'm going to work first down here. I'm going to put in our password to be able to preview and do the apply. So if we run this and take a look at the screen and any potential exceptions, we'll see that we've got the attempted apply amount per the imported file, and we've also got confirmation that, yeah, when we run through and in our temp tables, pretend like we're doing the applies, we're actually able to verify that, yeah, there's enough document amount to accomplish that apply. No exceptions. And we're ready to go ahead and apply those documents here. Now that we have previewed and verified that that the bottom line totals on our edit list or our preview match up with what we were expecting, we're going to go ahead and say apply those documents. And then we'll get a final report and any post exceptions. So we do check after the applies have been processed to make sure that they actually are there and that we don't have any exceptions. Now, if we go and look at the vendor, you'll notice, number one, they're all in history. So they've all moved to history because they were fully applied. If you scroll down, you'll see all the different invoices. We've got the payment. If we drill back on the applies, we can see the apply information that's been provided for each of the documents that were fully applied. And now what we're going to do is we are going to rerun this a couple different other ways. So we talked about doing specific imported. Next, we're going to go ahead and show how our auto apply can run either for a single vendor or for a range of vendors and dates. So we can restrict the mass auto apply if we want to restrict the date range of the apply from documents. If we want to restrict the date range of the applied to documents, we can restrict by vendor class. As well as a prefix matching where we can auto apply within specific prefix matching. We also can auto apply for a specific list of documents. So we can import a list of voucher IDs, both the apply from and the apply to vouchers, and then say restrict the mass auto apply to whatever the documents or vouchers that were specified in this import here. Alternatively, we can decide to mass apply this information. So even if we haven't imported, we can use this section in the middle to do mass auto apply. Now, I can either restrict it to a particular vendor, or I can run it for the entire range of vendors. So if I said, okay, I want to see everything from Ace Travel to Woodgrove Bank, and I want to see every document between these document date ranges. I'm going to look for payments, credit memos, or returns, or I could restrict it to just returns or credit memos. In this case, I'm not matching on a doc number prefix, and I'm not restricting it to an import of documents. So it should go out and find any records that are out there. So if we do this preview, it's going to look through all of the vendor payables. And it's going to show us all of the documents. So oldest to newest, it's going to apply for each vendor that it finds documents. And we can then see what the total is at the bottom, what the total amount of all the applies would be. So these are reports just like any other report in GP that you can modify. So however you want to modify those, you can. Now, if I want to do it based on a document number prefix match, I might say that the doc length number is going to be 4. In this case, when I do the preview, it should only find those documents that match the first 4 characters and then does the auto apply within that. So in this case, we're matching the first 4, so you can see that the apply from document here has the first 4 matches with the first 4 here. And so it auto applied it. I might have alpha characters like ZZZ or ABC or whatever it is. But you can see that because the first 4 matched up there, it's automatically going to apply based on that prefix match. Next possible thing is the credit document might not be what we want that prefix matching to match on. So it might be wanting to look at the comment field or the PO number field for some value and then check to see if there's a prefix match on that. I don't think we have any examples of that, but let's just take a look. Oh, we do. Okay. So in some of these, we also have it matching inside of that comment field as well. All right, so I'm going to turn off the auto apply by doc number prefix match. If we want to restrict it to a specific set of allowed documents, we can come in and we can select specific apply information for payables, whatever it is. We have PDFs that have the column layouts that the CSV files would need to be in. But then you could import a specific set of documents that you want to allow each other to be auto-applied against. That is about it for covering the process of mass auto-apply. Same kind of deal as before down here. You have the ability to preview it before you process it. And you have the ability then to, once you like what you see with the preview, to just click and make it happen with the auto apply button. In addition, we added a couple of things that people who don't have an integration tool might like to utilize. So not only can you import apply information, but if you don't have an integration tool, you might want to import vendors or vouchers for invoices, credit memos, returns, or manual payments. And so we're using the eConnect's stored procedures to validate these imports. You're going to pull from a CSV file, just like the other imports, very specific set of columns in the PDF that we provide. So you can, if you have an external system that's generating these payables and you need to import them in and you don't already have a good integration tool, then for payables, we provide you with the ability to import transactional data as well as the remittance or apply from data associated with that payment. With that, I'm going to conclude and just mention ICANN Software Solutions. We have a number of products for in Microsoft Dynamics GP. We also have a mass supply receivables product, investment assets, and vendor prices. So if you need to bring in your vendor price list, you can bring in vendor price list information into GP and utilize it on your purchase orders using our vendor price matrix. Shameless plugs for our other products. All right, with that, I guess we'll end the demo of Mass Apply Payables for Dynamics GP.